Care Nation. Welcome to another lawn mowing live stream. It is Thursday, June the 26th. So welcome back to another live stream. At this one here, it's one that you guys have seen before, corner lot. So let's get it done. The weather isn't the greatest today. It's a bit cloudy and stuff. It's supposed to rain, but it hasn't yet, so I've lucked out that way. But we'll see how the signal works as we get this. Flip the camera around. And the parking this week has been terrible. This is like the second or third time I've driven to the street to try to find some parking. This is a neighborhood that is often patrolled by parking enforcement. So it's one of those things. I'm a bit too close to the corner, but it's the best of the two options I had. And I'm gonna have to walk all the way to the corner there. Actually, because I gotta walk, I'm gonna make sure I've got enough battery. It would be okay if that Tesla there was moved up a little bit more, but it is what it is. The other option for me to park was right there, but there's a sidewalk in the middle that exits to the street, so that would be a parking ticket too. So we'll just do what we can do. And hopefully there's no overzealous parking enforcement around today. Yeah, it's just hit or miss sometimes in this neighborhood. There'll be parking, and then other times it's like everybody's home everywhere. And it's like, the heck, doesn't anybody have jobs around here? They have to go to? Are they all working from home? Then the weather where it holds out. So far, so good. Got a bit of an earlier start this morning. See, the rain is coming. Not too worried about the small lawns, the ones that I'm using the 21-inch Milwaukee mower on. But the larger ones I do in the afternoon. One of them is that one where I've done a lot of the Thursday streams from. It has a lot of drainage issues, and I gotta take the navigator there, so I'm hoping the rain holds off for that. Otherwise, I might have to figure out a different option. Although, I'm sure, I guess if it rained today, it wouldn't be enough unless it was like a major downpour for it to affect the drainage, because it hasn't rained for a few weeks substantially. I had a sprinkle here and there, but nothing. So it would actually probably still be okay. You never know, that lawn's been giving me issues with drainage this year. Actually, last few years, it seems to be getting worse and worse. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio. And of course, when I do the mowing part, I'll put the tripod out. As I'm spending more time with the mowing in each section versus trimming where you're walking around constantly. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have questions, don't be shy. Just met a young entrepreneur on the last lawn I was finishing up. He was going door to door, dropping off flyers for a landscape lighting company that he's recently started. Just chatting with him. Seemed like an eager young go-getter. Always fun to see, fun to talk to. I was giving him some inspiration on business and just social media and stuff like that, and kind of looking at your opportunities. We just live in such a period of time right now with the internet and social media and all that sort of stuff that there's just so many opportunities out there if you have a positive mindset about everything. So I was kind of telling him what I do and that, and kind of giving him some motivation to kind of try that as well. Don't think of a job as a mowing job only, or for him, a lighting job only. Think about how you can monetize that job in other ways. So, for example, the social media side of things, right? Making videos, working with brands, sharing your experiences. I'd encourage all you guys out there too to do the same. If you're a lawn care company, to create content, share. Trying to get out of your comfort zone. You'll be amazed at the opportunities that will come your way. And don't be telling me that you're too shy, because I am the king of shy. And if I can do it, you guys can do it. If you think you're too shy, start breaking out of that. Do things to push yourself out of that comfort zone. Heck, start by leaving a comment here in the chat. I promise I don't bite. Yeah, it was just cool talking to a young guy. He said he was doing advertising landscape lighting. I was talking to him about Christmas lights, and it wasn't even something that he had even thought about. But you could see kind of that light bulb go off in his head of, there's something he can do during those maybe slower periods of time, because I'm sure landscape lighting is going to be about the same as mowing, where you're going to have most of your jobs kind of come in spring and summer months when people are outside and enjoying their gardens and patios and stuff like that. And then less so in the winter months. Like lawn care, where obviously, well, in some places lawn care, you obviously have no choice, because in the winter months you're not going to have a mowing season if you're in a northern climate. But in a lot of cases, even as things warm up in the spring, for me, for example, on rainy days, the trend is that the phone doesn't ring. And generally, people are not, they're coming home from work, they're not spending time outside because it's raining, so they're not observing their landscapes. And once the weather's nice, they might go for a walk after work, or hang out in the backyard, and that's when they start to see that things need to be done. So hence the phone starts to ring. Any comments? No, nothing yet, eh? The only good thing, I guess, about today, with it being a little bit overcast, well, actually a lot overcast, is that at least I can see the phone screen a little bit easier than when the sun is glaring on it. Thought this was a parking patrol vehicle. It's got lights on the top, but then it's got Washington license plates, and I'm in Canada, so I ain't parking patrol around here. That's what the vehicles look like. These are little vehicles like that Toyota Prius with the light bar on the roof. Generally, but I think the ones around here are white. Parking guys around here. It's a white vehicle, and usually, very rarely is it the actual city. It's usually a subcontracted company. Which I think is even worse. I think that's why they are so sometimes overzealous in their ticket giving. It's because they probably get paid by the ticket. And water the grew back there. I have to remember to grab my gloves if I don't have them with me already. I'll have to check my hoodie pocket. always feel bad turning around these white vinyl fences. And you can't do, and in the corner here you can see some wires for their sprinkler system. I think it's the rain gauge. But you control what you can't control. The young entrepreneur I met seemed to have some good branding on his vehicle and company name. His company was called Light Owl Landscape Lighting. Kind of clever, instead of Night Owl, Light Owl. And his little, like Nissan NV200 van, cargo van. Very nice wrap on it, branding and stuff. It's very nice. Very nice. Alright. Just check patio and then time to grab the mower. Yeah, crazy how much it's grown. I did fertilize at the beginning of the month, but it was dry and hot. So like I said, we have had some light rain showers, so probably why everything's kind of kicking off again. Fertilizer's probably kicking in with the rain and moisture that we had. Take these glasses off, and I think I see a comment. So let's see, as we walk back to the truck. I'm trying to get my glasses back on my head, but I'm getting tangled up in the headphones. Alright, let me see the comment from Bird Beast. Looking good, thank you. Welcome to the stream, Bird Beast. Appreciate you dropping in, checking it out, and commenting. So a little bit of a walk, but not too bad. Just sometimes these neighborhoods hit or miss with parking. Like I said, this was my second time checking on this neighborhood today, and this spot had opened up, so ended up over here. So I need check for gloves. Got gloves. What string, Birdbee says, what string trimmer are you using? I'm using the Milwaukee M18 string trimmer. It's the second generation model that just came out with forged batteries. I'm also using the Milwaukee dual battery handheld blower and the Milwaukee M18 battery mower. And let me see what we have for battery here. It still says 3 bars, so we should be good. We should be good. Just gonna grab the tripod. I've been finding that on average with 2 M18 12 amp hour batteries, because this mower is a 36 volt mower, and Milwaukee's utilizing their M18 platform, so it requires two batteries to come up with that 36 volt. But on average, I'm getting about 6 houses, front and backyards done, typically. The first week I've been mowing with this mower. So we'll see how that changes. Like today, the lawn is a lot greener and thicker in areas. So we'll see if that makes a difference. This mower has two power settings. It's got basically an auto mode, which is what it's on right now, and then the high speed mode, which is triggered with this button here. The auto mode runs on this like lower RPM to save battery, but it'll automatically detect when the blades hit kind of thicker, longer grass, and then it automatically goes into high mode and then will drop back down. So I've been keeping it in that for now. Once we get into like rain season, and much like the Crest mower that I was testing out the last 2 seasons, my long-term testing, on rainy days or heavier, taller grass, then I was switching the Crest mower into the kind of high power mode as well, just to get more lift. So we'll see how this one does. This is only the second week that I've used this mower, so far it's impressive. I don't know if this could be classified as a full commercial lawnmower or not. If Milwaukee does indeed classify this as commercial, then it would be on the light duty end of the commercial spectrum compared to other mowers. It is very lightweight, only weighs about 84 pounds with batteries. But ironically, that is part of what I like about it, is that it's just so lightweight. The self-propel on this is probably my favorite, with one caveat. Probably my favorite of the battery mowers I've used so far, because it is a separate motor for the transmission, so that allows me to use the self-propel without the blade spinning, just like that. But the other nice thing is, bins in the front. Forgot about that. I saw that somebody already dragged it to the front. The other nice thing is that it does have both a top speed setting, but it also has a variable speed for the paddle control. So, for example, now we got down to 2 bars, so maybe I should have switched the battery. Well, we'll see. If I have to grab batteries again, we can grab batteries. I've done already 1, 2, 3, 4 houses on this set of batteries. So this is the 5th house. So of the commercial battery mowers I've tried, I've used the Exmark Commercial 21. They self-propel on that one. That one's interesting because it's the same mower as their gas version, except that they took the Kawasaki FJ180 motor out and put the battery mower in, battery motor in. So it uses the same transmission from the gas version, which is a hydrostatic belt, I guess, driven transmission. So it has a belt that drives the transmission from the motor. So because obviously in a gas mower, you always have the mower idling. That works, except it does not work. That mower does not allow you to use self-propel unless the blades are spinning. It's kind of a big deal for a commercial application. Kind of a big downside to that mower. The next one is the Crest commercial. Now, with the X-Mark mower, the one plus side is that just like the gas version, the bail that you have to squeeze, that like bar that you squeeze to engage the self-propel, is variable. So the more you squeeze it, the faster you go. So that is the positive with that, but you can't use the self-propel without the blades spinning. With the Crest commercial mower, that one is like this one where it has a separate motor, a separate electric motor for the transmission. So it allows you to use the self-propel without the blades spinning, which is a big positive. The one negative, though, with the Crest is that it does not have a variable speed. So it has, like this Milwaukee, where you have a dial here that you can turn, rabbit and turtle. So this one has like 5 different kind of speed setting ranges. That adjusts your maximum speed. But then you can see I'm using the paddle here, and it's variable. So the more I push on this paddle, the faster this motor will go up to the top speed that I've set on that dial there, is where it'll max out. With the Crest, they have that setting there, the speed setting, in a little thing that you turn on the side there, kind of looks like a shifter lever or something. The problem is that the bail is not variable. It's only an on-off. So the mower goes from 0 to whatever speed you have set that mower speed to. So it ends up being a very jerky user experience because you're either all or nothing, right? So you can see here in these smaller lawns and stuff like that, which, you know, if you're using a 21-inch mower, you tend to be smaller lawns. You're going to have smaller areas. And if you watch my thumbs, I'm like feathering it all the time. I'm giving it much like I would be driving a car with my foot on the accelerator. Sometimes you're giving it more, sometimes you're giving it less, sometimes I'm releasing it, right? So it's just super smooth because I can match the mower to every little situation. So I really do like that. The one caveat that I've noticed with this mower, and it could be just mine, is that sometimes I'll press this paddle and the self-propel doesn't engage. And I have to release the paddle and then press it down again, and then it'll catch, so to speak. Now, my brother-in-law was also interested in this mower, and he purchased one about a month before I got this one. And when I explained that to him, I haven't like seen him like in person to kind of show him. But when I explain it to him over the phone, he doesn't seem to know what I'm talking about. So it could be just maybe it's this one that does it from time to time, because he seems to not have that same issue. So I'm not sure, unless he's just not noticing yet, or it's also his very first experience with a battery mower he's ever had. So, but he is using it commercially, like I am. Let me know in the chat, guys, where you're watching from. That would be awesome. Hear the audio clear, great as well. Yeah, so far my impressions of this mower are very good, especially considering this is Milwaukee's very first attempt at a lawnmower. I was a little bit hesitant at first, I'll be honest, just because of being M18 batteries, and just didn't know how that would, the same, even though M18 platform is one of my favorites in terms of like my drills and things like that. I didn't know how that would translate for like a large lawnmower compared to a drill. But it does really well so far. The true test will be when I get into the fall, rainy season. But even today, this is a little bit more than I've had to deal with. Although yesterday I did do, one of my client properties said, I totally forgot to set up the tripod. It's in my pocket. Let me do that. 1 second. Give you guys a different point of view. Totally forgot about that. You guys got to remind me about that. That should be good. But yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised at this whole Milwaukee M18 platform and lawnmower. Like I said, the biggest thing with this unit, I think, is it's not fully the build quality. It's very good, but it's not as heavy duty as some other your typical standard commercial mower, like a Honda HRC 216 or something like that, right? So I think this will be fine for situations like myself, where I'm a solo operator and I generally take care of my equipment. I'm not beating it up, I'm not loading it roughly into the trailer or things like that. But if you have employees, maybe that's something that would then be an issue. Definitely a bit thicker grass here this week. So for now, anybody kind of, there's that RPM ramping up automatically. It's getting a little bit thicker. Oh, it just went back down again. So far for now, only 2 weeks in though, so take that for what it's worth. I would say this mower's pretty darn good if you're looking into getting into battery mower. If you're a solo operator, this could be a good entry level choice. My hope is that this mower's been out for 2 or 3 years already. This is my first experience with it, but my hope would be that they come out with a second version, like they do with that trimmer, Gen 2, kind of improve some of the things with it. Like this bagger on the back, I'd like to see a bit heavier duty fabric. Would be nice. There's a little bit of extra plastic on the bottom too that I'd like to see. Maybe metal. But all minor things, nothing that's like a deal breaker, which I say is like really surprising, considering Milwaukee is not designed a lawnmower before. So for this to be their first version and to get so many things right that a lot of actual lawnmower companies with their versions miss the mark on, it's kind of mind baffling. Right, I think I'm going to empty the bag. So I'm going to throw you guys back on the chest mount so we can work all the way back to the front there. And then I'll put you on the tripod again. But you see the cut quality is nice. Nothing to complain about there. I'd like to see some more blade options for this mower as well. Like a true high lift blade. They do have a blade that they call high lift, but it's hardly a traditional high lift. It is more of a gator mulching blade that they're calling a high lift. I'd like to see this bag opening a bit bigger too, instead of coming all the way here, having kind of that opening here so you can open the flap and kind of reach in. That would be very nice. Let's see what we got underneath. We got a little bit of clippings from the grass being damp. So we'll just clean that up. Key to bagging these wetter lawns is keeping the deck clean so we get airflow. This is what I mean by the little bit of extra plastic on the bottom that I'd like to see. Metal is just this whole back plate here. This whole thing here is plastic, where the rest of the deck is steel. So obviously they did that as a manufacturing. They can take one sheet of steel and stamp it out without adding another piece, but it'd be nice if that was metal too. I don't know how in the long run if that makes a difference or not, but so you really got to shake the bag to get the clippings out, because it's kind of that triangle shape, right? It's bigger on the back, narrow on the front, and because the opening is tight, whereas if it had that kind of cutout there, then it would pour out easier with less effort. Battery, we're still on two bars. So far on the back, I really like that the battery meter is on the back like that. That is very nice. Let's do this line again and then put you guys on the tripod here. This fence. A little section here. Put the tripod on. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of, or in the chat what you think of battery mowers. If you're a lawn care business, is it something that you're utilizing? While they're not perfect, obviously there's a bit of a learning curve to using them, figuring out your batteries and charging those and workflow. I was telling that young entrepreneur, because he was asking me about it, that I just don't ever see myself going back to gas. Despite some of the downsides to battery, just like anything, the upsides, and for me one of the biggest ones, as you'll notice here, my headphone is not even on correctly, is noise. They're just so quiet compared to gas that it just makes it so much more pleasurable to use. You hear some of these lawn care YouTubers talking about, like the homeowner guys that do the Alan, the lawn care nut guy and stuff like that, right? You hear them all talking about enjoying the mow. Well, I tell you, a battery mower is a nice way to enjoy the mow. I don't know if this is going to be steady enough to hold. If I get a little closer to the fence, it's a little bit more even. Lawn kind of slopes towards the curb. So yeah, it's just so much more enjoyable, especially if you're working and mowing all day long, to be using a battery mower. At least I think. Yeah, to frame for a second. I guess I could have put the camera back here. We'll do that on the next stripe. So you can catch the whole area. Just clear a spot here. Maybe the camera can work. Over here. Let's see if we can get that over here to balance. Will that work? Back here, maybe? Yeah, right there. That'll hold. Try to give you guys a different angle than just the POV style, of course. It's not always the greatest to watch for the entire video. You just dropped down to 1 bar. Oh, went back to 2 bars. So as this mower starts getting from dropping each level, kind of gives you a warning by going like I said, it'll drop from right now from like 2 bars to 1 bar, but then it goes back to 2 bars. And it'll drop again back to 1 bar, then to 2 bars, kind of telling you that it's almost at the 1 bar level. Very well thought out. I see, just drop back to 1 bar now. Oh, back to 2 bars. So just well thought out. Just amazes me. This is again Milwaukee's first attempt at a lawnmower. Weather's holding up, so that's awesome. So far. Let's turn you guys around. Another comment. Life in Tornado Alley. Already getting ruts. Yep. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest. When you have rain 80% of the year, ruts is what you're going to get. Man, hard to find a spot to balance that. Tripod doesn't have the greatest. It's really quick and convenient and lightweight, and I can pop it in my pocket, but yeah, unfortunately with the amount of rain we get here through most of the year, lawns sometimes are even difficult to walk on, and there's no stopping it. You can't not mow for 4 weeks at a time or something while you wait for a clear day. It's a completely different situation than anywhere else in North America. I always say, and I've talked to many manufacturers of mowers, and I always say that the Pacific Northwest, I think, is the most brutal area for mowing lawns because of the moisture, the amount of rain. And it is like torture test that if a mower can make it here, then it'll be fine in any area. And they have all agreed with me. A lot of those manufacturers. You can't put, a lot of times you're having to use smaller mowers because the ground is soft from the rain, so you can't use a stand on or stuff like that. That's why you'll see 21-inch mowers are like the most popular for like average city lawn mowing companies. It's just, everything else is just too heavy to use all the time. And then you get lawns that are small, and your options for changing up your pattern and stuff, if you got like long narrow areas and stuff, it just becomes more difficult, time consuming. That you tend to do the long runs first. Alright. Let's empty this out. I'm going to put you back on the... I have to clean out that deck again. I've got my glove stuck. And still one bar left there. So doing pretty good. That was lawn. What did I say? Was that 5 or 6? Can't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 5. So yeah, one bar left. So like I said, generally can do about 6 lawns on these. On a set of 2 12-amp hour batteries. So it's pretty impressive. Didn't know what to expect with this mower when I first got it, especially using things like the Crest that have those big, massive batteries. Though those are a different battery technology, so they are generally bigger, but those are like lithium iron phosphate, where these are lithium ion, not lithium iron. And look at that, it's back to 2 bars again on the back there. Alright, now back. Take a walk back to the truck. And there's one thing I wanted to see. I think I missed an edge. Yeah, on that curb there, the very first curb. I missed that edge. Distracted by the live stream. So I'll grab the trimmer as well. The same guy driving around. That kind of looks like parking patrol, but again, he's got Washington license plates, so it's not parking patrol here. And I grab a string trimmer. Clean up that edge. And I'm just going to drop the tripod off back in the truck because it makes it a little bit awkward to walk with it in my pocket. This lawn here is pretty dried out, eh? Oh, I can't reach the camera. Can't reach the camera. Give you guys a different angle. Can I lean that up? There we go. And I gotta put my glasses on. Yeah, I missed this curb here. That'll work. Take these off again. So you can see a little bit easier. I forgot to take the still image for a thumbnail, but I'm sure I might be able to pull something off to replace the temporary thumbnail. In the lives, what I've been trying to do is have a thumbnail that represents the mower that I'm using for that particular live, as well as the property. I'm going to clean this up too. It's very dangerous. Trim that, but I forgot to put my glasses on. It's a bit dangerous. All right. Matthew, I enjoyed it clean and simple. Thanks. Appreciate you commenting in the live chat. Certainly makes things more interesting and funner for me to do these if people are participating. Otherwise, at that point, it kind of, if people don't comment, then it's just like another YouTube video. It's not worth the effort, right? Of literally walking around looking like a dork with the camera hanging off my neck and a microphone in front of my mouth. Although, another thing I was talking about with the young entrepreneur when we were talking about social media and stuff was that it's actually kind of one of the things I'm starting to embrace is the just kind of pushing myself, getting into my own comfort zone. And you'll notice here that even I'm still having a hard time with it, with live streams and even YouTube videos, where you'll notice my volume go down almost to a whisper because you just feel so uncomfortable worrying about almost what anybody else around you thinks. Literally, though, nobody cares. That's what you have to remember. Nobody cares. Nobody has time to sit there wasting and worrying about what you're doing. So in that respect, I like it that it's kind of pushing myself to be out of my comfort zone. I think, so you can see my volume instantly when I went up back into the truck, right? I'm in the security of my truck now, so I can talk louder. This is a lesson that I have learned as I've gotten older. I turned 50 this year, and I think back to my younger years and think of all of the different opportunities that were presented to me that I missed out on because I was just too shy and I worried about what other people thought. Um, if I knew now, or if I knew then what I know now, even though you still see that it's a little bit of a struggle in certain situations that I'm trying to push myself through, that I can't even imagine um, the success I would have achieved in life just by getting out of my shell and not worrying about what other people think. Because ultimately it doesn't matter. Something that Brian's lawn maintenance, I remember asking him about that, filming videos, and how do you, early on, it's like, how do you like get over the whole like everybody else, thinking or seeing what you're doing or worrying about what other people think. And I remember he said to me that once you realize that everybody else around you isn't paying your bills, that nothing else matters. That you have your own bills, your own priority, your own family to take care of, and just do you. Focus on you and don't worry about, because at the end of the day, nobody cares. And especially now, this day and age, everybody's on their phone, everybody's looking at their phone, everybody's filming stuff, everybody's doing something and posting to social media. So it becomes so much normal, but it's still very difficult. That young guy that I was talking to, he was having a hard time even thinking about posting to social media and stuff, and he knew there was something he should do for his business to promote his business and the jobs he's doing and all that stuff to try to attract more clients and stuff, but he was still very much kind of hesitant about that. So just kind of interesting, that portion of it. The other thing that I mentioned to him that I liked about doing the live streams that kind of pushes myself is that that for like YouTube videos and things like that, that a lot of the times that I have done stuff, it's always been very controlled, like controlled environment and only showing certain things and that sort of thing. Just trying to always be polished, kind of a scenario. And that with live streams, it's completely different. You can't control anything really. I can't control, if a customer comes up to me and starts talking, or somebody off the street comes to talk to me, or somebody asks me what I'm doing if they see a camera. I can't control if somebody leaves a trolled comment on a live stream when I'm out live and stuff like that. So it's pushing me to the live streams are pushing me to not worry about the things I can't control and to just go about and do it anyways, and just do what you can do. So that's my piece of advice for today for anybody that's watching is, push yourself out of your comfort zone and don't worry about what other people think, because it ultimately doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they think. So at any rate, I appreciate you guys tuning in to this live stream. Matthew says, will you be doing more lawns today? Yes, I've got quite a few lawns still to do today. I got one more small lawn to do with the Milwaukee mower. That's the French fry house that I always talk about, that I've done live streams at. I think last week's live stream was from the French fry house on last Thursday. And then I've got my big lawns to do where I got to go home and grab the Xmark Navigator and hopefully can get those done before the rain starts. So that's it for this one, guys. I want to thank Bird Beast for putting a comment in the chat. Appreciate you stopping in and putting in the chat. Life in the Tornado Alley. Appreciate you putting a comment in the chat. Matthew, appreciate you coming onto the and checking out the live stream as well and participating in the chat. So I really appreciate that. And then for everybody else who is watching and lurking in the shadows, appreciate you guys checking out the live streams. If you guys like these and want to see more of them, then because they're always going to be impromptu, I can't really schedule them because everything's out of my control in terms of cell signal and all those sorts of things. The best way to be able to know when I'm doing them is to subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, hit that notification bell, because then YouTube will notify you as soon as I go live. So that's it for this one, guys. Appreciate you guys watching the live stream, and we'll talk to you after or on the next one. If you're watching this after the fact, since it's gone live and you have any questions or comments, put them in the regular comment section of the video, and I'll be sure to answer them. So that's it for this one, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.